Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another lead training episode here on the Insurance Toolkits podcast. I'm going to do a solo episode today because I wanted to briefly mention this point, but it is very, very important, especially for agents in that first 6 to 18 months when you first start purchasing leads, and a lot of those mental insecurities and uncomfortabilities can kind of present themselves as an issue in your business, which is going to be what do you do on a rainy day? Not a sad day, not a day where you're beat down or not feeling motivated, but truthfully on a rainy day when it's raining out, it's snowing out, maybe there's storms, and it just is either not ideal or not safe for you to be out driving from client's house to client's house, because we all know these are very real circumstances that do happen from time to time, and they don't always have to be an excuse. So the first thing, which we've all heard through other mentors, through online training, through upline, managers, all these sorts of things, is activity is key. Activity will be the bread and butter to you becoming or maintaining success on the long scale, on the long term here in the insurance business, or any business for that matter. So there is always a way to stay productive. You just have to be willing to find it. So on those days when it's raining, first and foremost, some of the notes that I put here, if you have appointments, go to them. If you look outside and you genuinely think that you cannot make it to an appointment, maybe it's a blizzard, maybe it's storming so bad that there's an advisory that you shouldn't be out in the streets. Right now, in the current day and age, up in the Midwest and northeastern part of the United States, there were some advisories for people to stay inside because of the smoke from the Canadian wildfires making their way over to the United States and parts of Europe, and it's just not safe to be outside and breathe. These things happen. There's a real life scenarios that can happen. So make a judgment call. Look out your window. We're obviously not all weathermen or weather women. Look out the window. If you genuinely don't think that it's safe to drive, take a step back. What I put here is one of my notes. Don't fail your appointments. Don't no-show your appointments. Don't try to call and reschedule. If you have an appointment at Wednesday at 2 p.m., rain, snow, shine, whatever it is, blizzards and storms, all that stuff, hurricanes, call that appointment Wednesday at 2 p.m. If you have an appointment, make sure that appointment happens, whether it's in person or not. So if you can't make it to that client's house, give them a ring and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, as you can tell, we have some advisories right now to stay indoors. Of course, I want to prioritize and respect your time. I don't want to keep delaying this. Let's just take a few minutes now, and I'll give you the quick rundown version. Even to know you're still going to do your full presentation, we're setting the client's expectations up as this will be a quick phone call, and I'll get out of your hair, so to speak. So I'll give you the quick rundown version. Shouldn't take but 5 to 10 minutes. We already had this time scheduled. So does that sound fair, Mr. Smith? And most of the time, you already had that appointment scheduled. They're expecting it. And if anything, you not going to their house and now doing it over the phone can maybe entice them to be a little more comfortable and let some of those walls down. As we know, sales is very psychological. So again, if you have appointments, go to them. If you genuinely can't drive to them, call them and explain, but try to close them on the phone regardless. If your client says, hey, Wednesday at 2 p.m., Mr. Smith, yeah, I can't make it to your house. And like, yeah, we're getting prepared. We're going to go out to the store and try to get some stuff. And if that happens and you can't make that appointment, don't say, okay, well, I'll give you a call next week and we'll try to work something out. Say, well, Mr. Smith, while I have you on the phone, I'm looking at my calendar. It's actually right in front of me here. I'm still at my office. I can do either this Thursday at 4 p.m. or if you want to do next Wednesday at the same time. Now, my personal opinion when it comes to setting appointments is don't schedule appointments really more than 48 hours out. If you have to do next week as like a last case or a last measure, by all means do it to get something on the book. But if you're calling clients on a Monday, don't be trying to schedule appointments for Thursday or Friday if you can avoid it. So if you're calling leads on a Monday, try to schedule them ideally for Tuesday. Wednesday is pretty good, but anything after that, you start to run into a lot more no-shows. Imagine if you look at yourself, for example, if somebody called you on Monday and you had a 3.5-minute conversation with them that you're going to be meeting on Saturday at noon, Saturday at noon is going to roll around, and either A, anything else you decide to do that day is obviously going to take precedence over that meeting and you're just going to no-show, or B, you're not going to want to do it anyways and you're just going to completely be out of the house. So be realistic with yourself and don't try to set appointments too far in advance if you have to reschedule. But ideally, the activity is where we want to be. So if you have an appointment scheduled on a Monday or a Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever day, and there is some external nature or some things that are out of your control that you literally have to work around and you can't get to their house, if you're doing face-to-face appointments, close them on the phone. Get them on the phone. everything that you do face to face can be done on the phone. I know that it can be uncomfortable. I know that it can be a little, you can kind of talk yourself out of wanting to do it, but you can look at it this way. You either A, call the client and try to run the presentation telephonically, or B, the more likely answer is you're going to lose the sale. Typically, I always say that if the appointment is set, the client is expecting you. You don't want to set off the relationship or start off the relationship with failing them, no-showing them, rescheduling them, trying to push them off. It's just going to set that tone for the rest of your meetings and that relationship with the client. The rapport is going to be thrown off, and it's just not going to create a healthy environment that's going to condone and produce healthy sales environment for you to go out there and close deals, collect referrals. If the first time the client gets a hold of you or you get a hold of the client on the phone after you set the meeting is you're rescheduling, making excuses, delaying, that energy is going to carry with you throughout the momentum of your business. So make sure you're really taking advantage of, you have a phone. We all have a phone. It's usually within a foot or two of us, no matter where we're at. I know that some of you guys aren't maybe the most comfortable doing telesales, and by all means, you don't have to. But for days like where it's a rainy day or a snowy day, maybe you have a kid that's sick at home and stayed home from school. Any sort of life event or circumstance that requires you to not be able to go out and do the meetings that you had set, make sure you are still following through. So the follow through is going to be the most important. Stay busy, stay active, keep the momentum flowing. But if there is a rainy day, there is many ways to work around it, and don't make excuses for yourself. I know it's cliche, but the old time saying goes, either make excuses or make results. When you look at yourself at the end of each week, as an agent, I would always look at my weeks or my productivity week by week. So for me personally, my days were Monday were dial days, and I would set appointments for Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday were dial days, and I'd set appointments for Friday, Saturday. And then Sunday, if I had any appointments I needed to reschedule, if I have any apps to submit, that was kind of a recovery day, if you will. But I sometimes would have 1 or 2 appointments if I wasn't able to get them in during the week. So keep that in mind. Stay busy, stay focused, stay adamant, and don't ever cancel on your client unless you absolutely have to. So hopefully that was valuable for those of you out there, especially new agents. I know it can be hard, it can be challenging. A lot of those mental adversities can kind of overcome and they can kind of skew with your logic and reasoning and make you think that, staying home today won't be a big deal. But maybe you only had 1 appointment on the books for that day. But that 1 appointment could be maybe your only sale for this month. So don't ever underestimate the power of 1 appointment, because 1 appointment can be a no-show, or 1 appointment can be $6,500 in commission that can feed your family, pay your bills, buy your next round of leads, and feed you for the next 2 weeks. So never underestimate the power of 1 appointment, because I promise you, always showing up to your last appointment always pays off in the end. If anything, it just builds up that mental strength. So thank you guys for watching today. Of course, if you have any questions on Insurance Toolkits and our leads program, you can send me an email. My email is going to be down in the description. You can comment or anything along those lines. You can check out our Facebook page, or of course our website, which is insurancetoolkits.com. So thank you guys for watching. Hope this was valuable and you guys can take at least 1 good positive point away from this. Again, stay busy, stay active, keep selling, and I will see you guys in the next one.